In the shadowy folds of Vermont's Green Mountains lies a place whispered about in local lore, shrouded in an eerie mist of unsolved vanishings and dark superstition. This region, known as the Bennington Triangle, has long been a source of chilling tales, stories of people who stepped into the forest and were never seen again. As you settle in, perhaps with the faint hum of wind outside your window, allow yourself to drift into this unsettling history. Listen closely, for the woods have secrets, and tonight, we remember them. The Bennington Triangle isn't an official title, but a name coined by folklorist Joseph Citro to describe a mysterious area surrounding Glastonbury Mountain and the ghost towns of Somerset and Glastonbury. Known for its dense forests and remote wilderness, the region harbors a legacy of inexplicable disappearances, spanning from the 1940s into the mid-1950s. It's a place where silence presses heavy against the trees, and paths vanish as quickly as they appear. Our story begins in November of 1945. A man named Middy Rivers, a 74-year-old seasoned woodsman familiar with the terrain, ventured out on a hunting trip with 4 companions. As dusk neared, the group made their way back toward camp, but Middy drifted ahead, walking the familiar path alone. When the others arrived, he was nowhere to be found. A thorough search revealed nothing but a single rifle cartridge, allegedly dropped in a stream. Middy Rivers had vanished without a trace. The only sounds were the rustle of dry leaves and the call of distant crows. The old hunter was gone, swallowed by the mountain. 1 year later, on December 1, 1946, an even stranger case unfolded. Paula Jean Weldon, an 18-year-old college student from Bennington College, decided on a whim to take a hike along the Long Trail, a popular path winding through the mountains. Witnesses saw her walking with determination, wearing a bright red coat. Hours passed, evening fell, and Paula never returned. A massive search ensued. Bloodhounds, helicopters, volunteers combed the woods. No footprints, no fabric, no sound. The girl in the red coat was gone. Her disappearance captivated the nation. The FBI was called in, newspapers spread eerie headlines, and theories flourished. Some whispered of a serial predator in the woods. Others believed the mountain itself was cursed, a place where reality frayed at the edges. The strangeness continued. In 1949, James Tedford, a veteran and resident of the Bennington Soldiers' Home, boarded a bus returning from a visit to relatives in St. Albans. Passengers confirmed seeing him seated quietly in his seat as the bus approached Bennington. Yet, when the vehicle reached its final stop, Tedford had vanished. His luggage remained on board, untouched. His ticket lay on the seat. No one had seen him disembark. The old soldier was simply gone. Then came 1950, a year of 2 disappearances. On October 12, 8-year-old Paul Jepson accompanied his mother as she tended pigs near the family dump. She left him alone for a few moments, mere minutes. When she returned, Paul had vanished. A frantic search turned up no sign of the boy. Curiously, witnesses claimed the child had spoken earlier of his desire to visit the mountains. Bloodhounds traced his scent to a crossroads, and then it stopped, as though he had vanished into thin air. Only 16 days later, on October 28, 53-year-old Frida Langer set out on a hike with her cousin near Somerset Reservoir. Frida slipped crossing a stream and decided to head back to camp to change clothes. She never arrived. Another exhaustive search followed. Over 300 military personnel, police, locals scoured the area. Months passed. Then, in May of the following year, her body was found in an open area that had been thoroughly searched before. No cause of death could be determined due to the advanced decomposition. Frida Langer was the only one whose remains were ever recovered. The disappearances stopped as abruptly as they'd begun, leaving behind a silence thick with speculation. Over time, tales accumulated. Ghostly apparitions in the woods, eerie lights hovering among the trees, strange noises echoing after dark. Native American lore spoke of the land as cursed, avoided by local tribes. Some whispered of a malevolent presence, a predator unseen, ancient, and hungry. Local hunters and hikers reported unsettling experiences, sudden chills, feelings of being watched, paths that seemed to subtly shift. People spoke of unnatural mists that would curl between the trees, swallowing up the familiar world in thick, suffocating white. Those who wandered too far spoke of hearing names called softly in the gloom, sometimes their own. Theories have ranged from serial killers stalking remote trails to supernatural forces, to bizarre natural phenomena like sudden weather shifts or magnetic anomalies causing disorientation. One explanation suggests the presence of stone cairns, ancient markers said to disrupt the senses and confound travelers. Some claim the disappearances are connected to a lost civilization that once inhabited these lands, leaving behind artifacts and restless spirits. A few old-timers recall strange lights seen dancing above the treetops on cold, moonless nights. Stories of shadow figures darting between pines when the wind goes still. Even today, hikers report feeling watched, or hearing inexplicable sounds deep in those shadowed woods. The Bennington Triangle remains a realm where the ordinary and the impossible blur. So if you find yourself walking the long trail, and the wind turns still, the forest silent, remember those who vanished before you. And tread carefully, for in some corners of the world, the unknown still waits. And perhaps, when the mist rises and the shadows deepen, the mountain will claim another.